Alright, so for the recording people, we may not go the full hour depending if we have enough questions. Looks like this may not have been best time. We got 9 people here now, so we got a few more. But I'm going to go as long as there's questions, so we'll see how many questions these 9 people can give me. Alright, so we're going to start with Eric here. I mean, when I'm looking at expired domains, Eric, I mean the main thing I don't want to see is spammy links, and you can identify spam by like the URL and anchor text. If it's a lot of like forum links and no follow blog comments and or anchor text that says like buy Viagra and like or like drug stuff like Cialis, any of that type of stuff, I definitely avoid. And the other thing is if all the anchor text is the exact same, even if it's like Greg's site and it's like capital G, capital S, and there's like 100 links and it's all the same anchor text, that's a big sign. So just stuff like that. You learn to look for that type of stuff the more you do it, but just you'll be able to tell the spammy links when you start analyzing more and more sites pretty quickly. The real links I like looking for, the natural links are stuff that the site is about. So if the stuff was something about science, there should be a lot of links from like science type sites in there. All right, so that's the type of stuff I look for a site that I do want to see is like relevant to what the site was about. If not, it's most likely a lot of spam. So, all right, from Matt. Yeah, I mean, I think location matters, but I don't worry about it too much. I just try to get, I have so many sites that I just try to get. Obviously, I get from different places. Like, I probably have 15 to 20 different servers because I have so many sites, maybe even more than that. But I mean, when you're first getting started, like if you have like 10 sites, I would say it's fine to put all 10 of those on one server because it's just 10 sites. But as you build, you want to definitely get them from different places just to switch it up. All my money sites are not in one place. Um, Sorry, I got distracted. I host a lot of them with Host 9 just because it's easy to do. And then I host some with Todd Spears. I host some. I think I have a couple with ASEO hosting. But the main thing I try not to do is host my PBNs and my money site on the same server. Now I do have that happen in a couple cases where it just kind of was by accident, and they rank fine. But I do try to avoid it, if possible. Again, that's for example, if I have a money site, let's say on ASEO hosting server 1, then I wouldn't want to link to that money site from PBNs on the same server on ASEO hosting server 1. Now, if I had a different server for ASEO hosting, I could link to that money site on server 1. Like if I had ASEO hosting server 2, I could link to the money site on ASEO server 1. But again, if money sites and PBNs are on the same exact server, I try not to use those PBNs for that money site. All right. And again, I do have a couple where I do that, but it was by accident, and I try to avoid that. From Eric. Yeah, I don't mind seeing no follows, Eric. But if it's all no follow, I avoid that. Even having some no files in there is kind of good sometimes. Like a no file link from Wikipedia and YouTube. I like seeing that because that shows me natural, especially from Wikipedia. But yeah, it's more about like the anchor text. If it's like spammy anchor text and where the links are coming from. If it's like all irrelevant links or a bunch of press releases and blog comments. It's not that it doesn't power the site. It's just I like going with natural more, and that's not exact. That's more like done with SEO. I like sites that are done like more like naturally. From Eric. I would say .info sites are better for network sites, Eric. They don't. I don't believe they rank as well as org, com, or net. So you can use them for PBN sites though. I mean, you can use them for a money site, that you just might have a little tougher time ranking them. From pre. I believe they have a grace period pre or pris. I'm not exactly sure how that works because I have like one site and then I've been refunded and the old owner gets it. So I think they do have a grace period. I'm just not sure how long it is. It's funny. I actually have some domain names right now that are at auction that I'm trying to renew. So I'm gonna see how that works within a few days. Because there was some weird registrars that were hard to renew it, and I just figured it out. So I'm in the process of trying to transfer them and renew them. We'll see what happens. But yeah, they do get some type of grace period. From Matt. Yeah, mostly just Link Juice Keeper and Axmet. I will use Social Explosion and Spider Spanker. Again, those are options. You don't have to use them. I will use Google XML sitemaps sometimes. Usually not. But yeah, those are the two main ones that I definitely use. From Eric. What I've been doing lately, Eric, is when it goes to the pre-release stage, I've been on mostly pre-releases. Once it's in like the pre-release stage and it's at auction, I just put in my highest bid. The most I'm willing to pay for it. That way I don't have to go back and look at it. I don't got to set my timer. I used to set a timer and 5 minutes before I'd go and try to bid it up, or I'd try to like steal it. But now I put in my highest bid right away. And if someone bids over it, I don't worry about it. That way I don't get in bidding wars. I have my highest price I'm willing to pay in there. Sometimes the other bidders will just forget about it, and you get it cheap, so it kind of works out the same way. No, you can, instead of Register Compass, you can use expireddomains.net. That's free. It just doesn't have as good filters, it's a little harder to use. I really like Register Compass, but you can use expireddomains.net to get expired sites. From Matt here. I just look at the movement, Matt, and I keep track of the dates I did my last links, and it all depends like how important the project is and how time sensitive the rankings need to be. If it's a site that I really have no time frame on, like it needs to rank, just not anytime soon, I'll do a link every couple weeks and just see what the movement does. But then again, if it's a site that I need to rank ASAP, I might do a link every day. Because I'm pretty aware of what anchor text to use and all that stuff. So, I do both. And how I know, just it depends on the project. I look at the movement. It depends on how much I need the links or how quick the rankings need to come and all that. From Pris. An SEO hosting service example would be like ASEOhosting.com. Whoops. Basically what it is, Pris, is it allows you to set up domains easily on different IPs. Okay, so instead of like going and like if you went to HostGator and signed up, you can sign up for like $10 a month and put multiple sites on the same server, but they're all going to get the same IP. So in order to get different IPs, like on regular hosting, you would have to sign up for a new account every single time, and you're still not guaranteed a new IP. So it starts to be a real pain, especially like I have 500 network sites. If I did it this way, I would have 500 different hosting accounts, which would be a nightmare to manage. Since I use ASEO or SEO hosting, services like this, you can go and get. Let's go ASEO hosting in the U.S. You can go here and you say, okay, I want one with 50 IPs right here. You sign up once. That's one login you need for 50 IPs, 50 sites. So that's what ASEO hosting just makes it a lot easier as far as management. From Pris. You have to open an account with GoDaddy, Namejet, and Snap. Okay? When you win auctions in GoDaddy, all those domains go to GoDaddy. When you win auctions in Namejet or Snap, they automatically set up accounts in these places for you. Wherever the domain was hosted, they'll set up an account for you, and they'll put it in there and send you an email and all that stuff. From Matt. Yeah, I would likely space it out, Matt. I wouldn't do that all at once. And yeah, I would probably delete the original article and do a new one. From David. I don't have training on that specifically, so I'm not sure, David. I would have asked that to David at omgmachines.com because he organizes all the content and he'll be able to let you know if it's in there, where to do it. I'm sure we do have something like that in there. From Marcus. I've always liked to go after stuff that I'm interested in, Marcus. So, for example, with e-cigarettes, e-cigarettes, they helped me quit smoking. So I believe they can really help people. So I push e-cigarettes. It's something that I have experience with. Other stuff I've done is I've promoted like health stuff. I'm really into health. I personally like doing stuff that I have experience with most of the time. That's what works for me. But I mean, you can do anything. Yeah, I'm doing a little bit of testing with some other stuff, which I'll probably do videos on soon. But yeah, mostly I get my domains at auction, and I just explained that, Marcus. So hopefully that helps. From Matt. For a new domain, I mean, typically I'll do probably a few links the first month, maybe 5, something like that. Maybe 3 to 5, I would say on average. But again, it depends on that. It goes back to how quickly does the site need to be ranked and all that type of stuff. So, but I would say average 3 to 5 links for a brand new site in the first month. Then after that, it may pick up. Maybe I'll do 7, 8 links the next month if I need that many. So it really depends how many links it actually needs and how quick it needs to be ranked and all that. But yeah, first month average would be 3 to 5 links. From John. I don't actually pay attention to the update names, John, so I don't know what that update actually did. What I would have to do is look at your site and just kind of analyze like your backlinks and your anchor text you're using, your URLs, and all that type of stuff. I don't really pay attention to the names though, so I'm not sure exactly what that update did. I just more know what's going on now. So from Eric. I'm not sure what you're asking about. In which cases, Eric? So elaborate on that if you can. For Matt. Yeah, I would say that sites with a few just a couple pages could be hard to rank Matt for sure. It does mean you can't rank them. I have sites ranking. I think Seattle Accountant's still ranking, which is like 2 pages. So it doesn't mean they can't be ranked. It just means yeah, it could be a little harder. Let's see. Okay, so it dropped down to number 9. Yeah, that was ranking like number 1 for a long, long time. This has one link to it, so it's not like it has a ton of links. But yeah, I mean you can see sites can be ranked. Maybe if I added more content to this, it would come up. That could get the job done. But yeah, I would say more content does help with rankings to a certain point at least. Let's see from Pris. That's funny, Pris, because that's actually what I'm testing with right now. And it's actually going good. I'll give you the I'll ruin the surprise about what those videos are gonna be about, and it's buying expired domains. We actually refer to expired domains as auction domain. The auction domains I get, we refer to as expired. They're actually auction domains. They're not technically expired domains. So that just so people don't get confused. An expired domain is actually the correct terminology is a domain that went through auction and didn't get picked up, so it gets recycled back into the regular registrar. So you could pick it up at GoDaddy regularly for $9 or $12, whatever it is. So that's actually what an expired domain is, and I'm testing with them now, and it's going very well. Okay, so the test I'm doing right now, which I'll go over in a video, goes over expired domains, which you can get very cheap, and they can still rank sites. So that'll be a really cool video for you, those of you on a budget. Now they're not as powerful, but you don't really need powerful in most cases. So I'll do a video on that soon, showing my test results and all that stuff. But yeah, I just ran it. I'm running a test on this right now. It's going very well. And I guess I'll show you the video, the term that I did it for. So far, I've used. I think I just put in the second link, and I think both sites were like $12, something like that. Just the regular renewal fee or registration fee of a domain. So an expired domain, you can like go to Namecheap, put in the domain here, and register from a place like Namecheap or GoDaddy. You don't have to get it at auction. It's a site that was owned, okay, has links going to it. No one got it at auction because they didn't think it was good enough, so it ends up expiring. Okay, the only thing about expired domains is usually, again, the links aren't as good and the age goes away because once it gets recycled into the registrars, once it goes back into the registrars, it loses that age. Okay, because it's kind of treated as a new site again, but the catch is it still has all the links to it, so it has power going to it. All right. But yeah, I was going to type in the term. Let me go back. So I did Franklin, Tennessee, MMA classes. And here we are right here. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5. And again, I just did the first link 2 weeks ago, so that hasn't fully kicked in. Remember, 30 days until it fully kicks in. And I just did the second link a few days ago, so that hasn't even come close to fully kicking in. Alright. Let me see if Franklin TN MMA is ranking at all. Yeah, that's actually number 8, Franklin, Tennessee MMA. So that shows you that expired domains do work, and I'll go over the video on that, on like how I found them and all that stuff. So I think that'll be cool for you guys. Again, especially for you all on a budget, because you don't have to buy the super powerful domains to make this work. This could be a client right here. There's no reason this couldn't be a client site, and I spent $24 on the sites that I've used so far. All right. So good question, Pris, and yes. But and to answer your question, For me personally, I wouldn't buy expired domains because I go after more competitive niches, and I can afford the ones at auction. But it's totally okay to buy them, from what I'm seeing, and they work. From what I'm seeing, is what I should say. From Matt, eh, yeah, Matt, maybe. I've been doing more on the sidebars lately, as I showed in a recent video. Putting like an RSS feed. Depending on what happens, if sites really start getting de-indexed a lot, I might start doing like graphics for every single site and better web design, all that stuff. But right now, I don't see that you need it. So if I need it, I'll do it. From David. Everything about buying them is in the supremacy section, David. I haven't seen posts about confusion with that. But yeah, everything you need to know is in the supremacy section. The tools I use for expired domains are Open Site Explorer and Register Compass. Just like I show in the videos. Those are the tools I still use. From Eric. The lowest authority I usually go is like 25, Eric. But it's okay for you to go lower. If there's domains that are good for me at 25, I'm sure there's domains that are good for you at 24 or even 20. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can definitely go below that, but that's just my cutoff point. But just remember, I have a bigger budget, so I'm able to get those. I put my cutoff domain at 25, just because of my budget's a little bigger. And remember, when you buy an expired domain, it's a write-off. So every domain I buy is a business expense. It's an investment. So I have no problem spending more money because I also have a lot of money coming in. So I mean, just building up my network, it gives me more SEO power, and at the same time, it gives me expenses that I can write off, and those are assets. Those are assets that I can always use. So that's the way I look at it, rather than spending money or whatever. I'm gonna let a couple more questions roll in here. Give me about 1 minute. Alright, cool. From David. I mean, it should be fine. I wouldn't worry about using direct affiliate links too much. I think I think that's more a myth. Unless you have like a ton of affiliate links all over pages, I don't think it's a problem. I usually use the PHP code, which I can shoot a video on. But I don't think having the regular affiliate links is a big deal. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. From Pris. Yeah, it should definitely help if you're using the right anchor text and all that. Absolutely. Okay. From Eric. Yes, Eric. I do still try to use different servers for PBNs and money sites. That's what I was explaining. even with the different IPs, because they can put it together that's on the same server, I believe. So I do try to put them on different servers, even if they're on different IPs. From David. Yes. Yeah, you don't want sites with bad links no matter what, whether it's expired or auction. You don't. I don't like having bad links in the link portfolio of the site. Okay, so expired domains I also find with Register Compass. So if we log in here, and let's just do a. Alright, so greater than 0, less than like 2012, domain authority above 20, we'll say. We'll go with namejet, expiring in the next 3 days. Find domains. Now this is where I usually get my domains auction. Okay, expired domains are right here. All right, so you would just click here, and this is the ones that I ranked the Franklin TN MMA classes with, or that I'm doing that with. So let's organize by here. Alright, and we'll see that this domain is most likely still available, unless someone went and got it. But it should be available regularly here, where I can register as a brand new domain. And it is available. Okay, so I can register this right now. This one probably has spammy links to it. Let's go check out the links. Alright, so this one only has one link right now, and it's from their own site, but you get the point. The expired domains are sites that have links still going to them. This one doesn't have many, it's just a bad site. And are still available at regular registrars like Namecheap, GoDaddy, anywhere you can register a brand new domain. So they lose the age, but they still have their links. Okay, and I'll go over that in the video when I do it. But that's where you find expired domains. They are this middle one right here. And I usually go right here for all my sites. But this is what I'm doing the test with. From John B. Well, I don't worry about that, John. As long as it shows up with, I always do site mydomain.com. I don't put in the www. That messes up the indexing for some reason. I don't know the logistics of it, but sometimes that happens. Don't worry about that. As long as your site shows up when you do it this way, that's all. That means it's indexed. That's all I care about. I don't ever do like this. Okay, I wouldn't even worry about that. As long as it's showing up like this, it's indexed. That's what I use it for. Okay. Alright, from Pris. No, there's not a waiting there for it can be waiting for it can be your own Pris. It's you can't transfer a domain usually in like the first 30 to 60 days. Usually that's what it is, but you're still no, you're still the registrar, the owner. It's just that a lot of registrars won't let you transfer it out to a different registrar for like 30 to 60 days. for some reason. I don't know why. From Pris. Nah, I mean, there's. Did I leave that window up? Let's go here. There's definitely some that show page rank. I would say, yeah, most are probably PR0, PR1, but there's definitely ones that have page rank. Or are showing page rank, I should say. So we got a bunch here. A bunch of 2s. There's even a few 3s in here. There's some 4s. Now, if they're legitimate or not, that's a different story. But there's definitely some that show page rank. Alright. Alright, we answered that one. From David. I haven't seen that, David. I'll have to try to find it. I haven't had any problems there, though. From Pris. You just activate it. Usually it's already installed. Just go in, activate it. You might have to register for free to get your code. It's totally free. And just hit activate and put in the code, and that's it. From Eric. I usually don't mess with foreign links anymore. If there are a ton of high domain authority foreign links and it looks somewhat natural to me, that I might look into it, but for the most part, I don't really do foreign links. Like if it's all foreign links. From Marcus. I would just post in the Facebook group, Marcus, see if anyone can help you with that. From Gene. I mean, any strategy would be start with a PBN, Gene. The karate niche probably is not that competitive, so I would say he can definitely be beat without even looking at him. From David. Yeah, BizBuilder is Todd Spears' hosting company. He's a good friend of mine. He's been doing blog networks for a very long time, so he knows what he's doing. Alright, let's see. From Matt here. Yeah, it seems like links now have like sticking power, Matt, where even if they're deleted, they'll have whatever the effect is for a few months or so. For example, I have sites where I totally removed all the links a few months ago, but they're still ranking very high. And that will likely, taper off over time, but yeah, I think they do that so you can't immediately come up right like that when you make the changes. So I would just be patient with it and see if they came up. I have to look, Pri. I think that the 2 I use might be like PR2s. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. And I'll go over that in the video. From David. No, just point to it with the PBN sites. Those aren't related. I wouldn't worry about that at all. From Matt. No, I would not use Article Builder. I used it and had very bad luck with it. All my rankings tanked for the content that I use Article Builder on. So I would just be safe and go with unique content. No problem, David. From Matt. Very cool, Matt. I like seeing that it was de-indexed and you moved it and it got re-indexed. That's pretty cool. But no, I haven't seen any patterns. I haven't had too much problem with it, so I'm not too worried about it. That's pretty cool that you moved it and it got re-indexed. Alright, I moved these over. Hopefully you can see them better now, Pris. From Matt. I would say it could slow down indexing, Matt, but I wouldn't say it could have detrimental effect on SEO. From David. I mean, besides this one, David, there's not... I don't really use anything else. So I wouldn't worry about that. I just use this to check indexing sometimes. And you don't even have to do that. You can use, it's called SEO for Chrome. And if you just hit this button, it's a plugin, it will show you right here. You know, page is indexed, Google, so it is indexed because it has at least one page indexed. It tells you page rank, backlink information, traffic stuff, so pretty cool plugin I also use. Again, that's called SEO for Chrome, if you're interested. It only goes with Chrome, obviously. Alright, so I'm going to answer this one and then give it a few minutes for questions to roll in, see if we got any more. Again, we just don't have many people today, probably because of the time. From Eric. No, actually, you know, for the expired domains, you're probably better off sticking with the domain authority between 15 and 25, not over, because a lot of the good domains over 25 would get picked up at auction. Okay? So actually, to make it easier, I would look between 15 and 25, because most of the sites over 25 are going to be spammy. Because if not, they would have got picked up at auction. Okay, so that's actually a big tip that I would give in the video, is I pretty much look between 15 and 25. I think one of the ones I used so far had a 22. I think the other one had like an 18 or 19 for the two links I've done so far. And you can see it's obviously moved the site, and they aren't even fully kicked in. So you can definitely go that. And that's actually what I recommend for the expired domain section. So again, anything under 15 is probably a little too weak. Anything over 25 is likely spammy because it would have got picked up at auction if not. It doesn't mean there's not any over 25 that are good. You can still look. But to make it easier... Alright, we did get a few questions in, so I'll get a new screenshot. SEO for Chrome is free, Pris. From Gene. Design is not my forte, Gene. I let other people deal with that. I would just tell someone, you know, what I'm trying to do and let them design it. But I mean, generally, it could look the same. You know, it could look just like KLKS. I mean, it probably depends what niche it's in, too. From Matt. It's up to you, Matt. I don't. I think I deleted most of the content that I use for that. But I mean, if you have stuff that's ranking alright with that content, I would just leave it and just not use it anymore. That's just what I would do. From David. Yeah, that's older stuff, David. You used to be able to use in URL to determine penalties. Like if you did in URL and your site didn't appear first, it meant it most likely had a penalty. Now that's not really the case. It's changed a lot, so I don't even use this anymore because it's not so much has changed and it's not effective. Or it's not consistent. Because sites that I know aren't penalized will not appear first, just because they're newer or they don't have as many backlinks yet, or so it's just changed because of that. So I just worry about the site one. And from Pris, yeah, between like 15 to 25 for the expired domains, Pris. And again, that's the ones in the middle. Okay. Now, if it's auction domains, I usually go over 25. So over 25. But the expired, I think it makes it easier to find them if you stay between 15 to 25. Because that's the area that the links are still good enough to have a good site or a decent site. But that's also the area that people may have missed during the auction phase. So that's why that's like the trigger point, kind of like the trigger point range. And that should save you a lot of time where you're not looking, through all these domains that are like 50, 42, because I can almost guarantee you all of these have spammy links, or they would have got picked up at auction. Now, again, that's most of them. See, now most people will take that tip, and they'll never look at a site over 25. There may be a few people who do, and they find some golden ones like, 26s and 27s and 28s that have great links that people just missed. And I'm sure there's sites like that, but if you're trying to save time and just do it quickly, I would say 15 to 25 is the best way to go. Alright, from Eric. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at everything still, Eric. I mean, number of quality links, I would say. Um, the anchor text doesn't have to be branded. You just don't want it to look spammy, that's all. But yeah, I mean, branded anchor text always helps, like, it being more natural. That's why I like branded anchor text. It just helps us. It's just more of a sign that the site was naturally done with the linking. But yeah, I mean, you're still looking at everything. And, biggest thing is number of quality links. From Gene. No. Because, I mean, I outrank sites that are domain authority 100. I outrank YouTube videos, I outrank Amazon pages, and those are all high 90, 100 domain authority. So, from Matt. I mean, you can use my guy. I've mentioned him before, fapcent at gmail.com. That's FAPCENT at gmail.com. Again, he charges like $2 per 500 words. The content's not great, but it's unique, and it makes sense, which does the trick. From Michael. Nah, you'll be alright with that, Michael. Um, and it also depends how many links you're going to need. Like, if it's a term that you're going to need, 20 links for, those are the types of ones that I usually start with longer anchor with. But if it's a term I know I'm probably going to need a couple links for example, the Franklin TN MMA one, For this one right here, I knew it wasn't going to take many links. It's not super competitive. It's a local term about MMA, which isn't a competitive niche to begin with. So I knew it wasn't going to be super competitive. So the first link I did was actually this, Franklin TN MMA classes. And the next one I did, which was a few days ago, was mixed martial arts classes in Franklin. Okay? So since I knew that this site wasn't going to take a ton of links, it's okay to do like not to do the shorter the links. Okay. For example, say if I was going after like Franklin Accountant, Franklin's a smaller city, so it's not going to be super competitive. So I would come out right away with Franklin Accountant as anchor text number 1, and anchor text number 2 I'd probably do Accountant in Franklin. All right. Now, if I was going after a huge city like New York City, then I might start with longer anchor text and work my way towards these types of keywords. Just because I know it's going to take more links. So it all depends how many links the site will likely need to rank well. You know, if it's something that's not as competitive, go after it right away. And if it still doesn't rank, then you can go to longer anchor text. But if it's something you know is probably going to take a decent amount of links, I would start with the longer anchor text to be safe. I mean, that's the way I usually approach it. From Gene. You can build it with either. What I show in my videos, Gene, is the auction domains, but you can do either. And I show how to do that in all the supremacy videos. From Pris. I don't pay attention to citation or trust flow, so I'm not sure about that. But I mean, generally, page authority and domain authority are somewhat close together usually. But it doesn't mean they should be or anything. It all depends. Again, the main thing I'm looking at is the quality of links. From Michael. No, the power comes from the source of the link. You know, the domain authority, how many links that site has going to it. The anchor text is more about optimization, Michael. And yes, this is the correct spelling right here. FAPCENT@gmail.com. You're welcome, Matt. Nashville SEO, I think only took like 7 links. For this one, since it's a bigger city, I think I started with a longer anchor text, and I kind of just saw how it moved from that, and that just gave me an idea. You know, after a couple long anchor texts, I saw it was moving pretty well, so I started moving pretty close to the exact anchor. So, you know, with this, I was expecting it to actually need more links, but after seeing the movement from the long tail, I moved towards the short ones quicker than I expected. And I was able to do that once I saw, you know, the movement. From Gene. I mean, it depends on more factors than that, Gene, but that wouldn't like deter me from buying the site. All right, so we got no more questions. I'm gonna give it 2 more minutes to allow questions to roll in, and then I'll answer all the final questions. And I'll just pause the video for about 2 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to grab a screenshot of these last questions here. Alright, from Matt. My average day depends if I have my son or not, but I like to get started work early, work throughout the day, and then go to the gym late at night, and that's about it. When I have my son, I don't work at all, and I spend the time with him, so. You're welcome, David. Yeah, this session will be replayed, Dennis. The replay should be up by tomorrow, I would say. I'll have the video over to David by today, and then he'll likely have it up by tomorrow. You're welcome, John. What keeps me going? I have fun doing it, Matt. It's kind of like a video game for me. It's fun to figure out what makes a multi-billion-dollar company, how they work, or like the algorithm they use, and just being able to figure it out and all that stuff. It's fun. From Eric. Seven links from 7 different PBNs, Eric, which is 7 different articles. The video, we did some video links as well, like, for example, this video has a link to it. That doesn't count as a link from. I'm talking about PBN links. Like, there's a link to Nashville SEO in here that I'm not counting in those 7. And we probably have a couple more other links like that, but I'm talking about 7 PBN links, which comes from 7 different PBNs, 7 different articles. Alright. Actually, there's 2 more questions. I'll get to these. Zoom. There we go. From Gene. Yeah, usually I start with a website. But it depends on what the person wants. And what type of budget they have and all that. But there's no problem doing it all at once. But in my past, I've done the website first, and then YouTube, and then stuff like Weebly and stuff like that. And for the SERPro, and that was Jimmy. So he did that. I actually didn't do it. From John. Depends on the competition, John. I did a video on this recently in the new Over the Shoulder series you can watch, where I talk about the new update that's taken the 30-day link delay supposedly, and what's going on with that. I explained that in one of the recent videos. Alright, and one more question we'll get to, then I'm going to wrap it up. From Gene. To rank you new YouTube video, you can start out with SeaWorks Service, right off the bat, Gene. That's fine. It's not as guaranteed as using like a PBN, but yeah, you can definitely start off with that. And I still have videos ranking that I've done that with, so it still works. It's just not as guaranteed as like using like a PBN. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to stop this recording now.